Our next honoree found her passion in a galaxy far, far away. Will Therese Jones please join me? Therese's interest in astronomy and astrophysics began as a sophomore in high school and strengthened with undergraduate degrees in astronomy, physics, and German, and a master's degree in astronomy from Penn State, and it continued with master's degrees from the University of California, Berkeley, and Pardee Rand Graduate School, where she is near completion of her Ph.D. in policy analysis. Therese is putting all that education to work as a senior director of policy at the Satellite Industry Association. She is also committed to increasing diversity in the aerospace industry. To that end, she has founded the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics Diversity Scholarship, which in its first year enabled 32 students to attend aerospace programs. She is also the co-creator of the website spaceinterns.org and author of A Guide to Space Life. Through her work, Therese has made an enduring commitment on the space and satellite industry and to Penn State through her service, mentorship, and perpetual willingness to give back to her alma mater. Congratulations, Therese.
Thank you so much. I stand here today a true product of Penn State. I'm a 7th generation Center County native. My great-grandfather was the physics demo guy. My grandfather was the oldest of 10 children of Italian immigrants, and he went to Penn State during the Great Depression. He later went on to become one of the first driver's ed instructors, first at State High and then Penn State. He was in love with Penn State football, went to every game he could from college well into his 90s. My parents, my sister, and many extended family members attended Penn State. My dad actually just retired this month after 42 years at the Applied Research Lab. Thank you. I was born with a view of Beaver Stadium, and I actually owe Penn State my life as I had heart surgery at Penn State Hershey at 3 months old. Penn State was infused throughout my childhood. I am incredibly humbled to share this honor with former recipient and my favorite visitor to my 2nd grade classroom, John Amici, who also happens to be an amazing former NBA player and social justice advocate. I fondly remember clinics with Penn State soccer, tennis, field hockey, and track teams throughout my childhood, but I particularly want to thank the Penn State women's volleyball team and Russ Rose for being like a second family throughout my childhood. Now, you might think I'm standing here today for athletic accomplishments, but I decided to leave the 4 national championships to my high school volleyball teammate. Instead, what proved to be more influential on my eventual trajectory were the field trips in kindergarten and 4th grade to the planetarium, weekly science Olympiad practices with volunteer student coaches Mike Weinstein and Pete Green. And then by the time I was in high school, I was showing up to every Penn State Astronomy Department public event, which is where I met my eventual advisor, Jane Charlton, who I would like to thank for taking the chance on a precocious teenager. I'd also like to thank Rick Robinette and Chris Palma for supporting my many endeavors at Penn State, particularly the education and public outreach ones. I'd like to thank Don Schneider for teaching the most challenging yet most fun courses I ever took at Penn State, the only ones I would have camped out overnight for, as well as my Astro family for the moral support throughout those classes. I'd like to thank Martina Kolb for teaching the best German classes I took at Penn State and for teaching me to become a critical writer and thinker, as well as the Schreier family and the Honors College for, among many other things, supporting my first trips abroad, which were classes to Bulgaria, China, and Kenya, as well as the faculty members who taught those courses, which profoundly impacted my future trajectory. Now, I'd like to take a brief moment to tell you the story of my elementary school classmate's brother. He grew up in this town. He was the son of 2 Penn State faculty members. He loved everything about Penn State and Penn State football in particular. Unfortunately, in his late 20s, he underwent a mental health crisis. And instead of being met by mental health professionals, he was met by the bullets of the State College Police almost 3 years ago to this day. Sunday has been proclaimed the Osage Day of Unity, and I encourage everyone not only to memorialize this day and donate to his namesake scholarship fund, but to think about on a daily basis, not just this weekend, what you can do to fix the institutions in this town that allowed a white girl to grow up and stand up on the stage, but a black boy who was similarly in love with all things about State College and Penn State to end up in his eventual grave. Thank you.